Hey there everyone, Great Squatch here. I know it's been a while, but I've been having internet issues and whatnot, so here I am now. I am just going to be talking about Pantheon for a second, because there's some major frustrations with Pantheon. Now, what is Pantheon? Pantheon is a raid boss god. The first week was 4 raid bosses, and every week will continue to get harder and add an additional boss to it. For instance, this week currently is Oryx, and next week we'll have another raid boss on top of it. In addition to the additional raid boss every week, there is going to be a version that is progressively harder till it ends up a contest mode, and I think it even would go higher than that, but we're just going to talk about the mode in general. What are the 4 first bosses? We have Golgoroth. This is part of week 1. Golgoroth, I still haven't done it. From my understanding, it's just minor enemy changes, so there's a little bit more enemy density and a few more slight changes, like you get unstable light on 2 people rather than 1 person, and those 2 people need to not be near each other, else they'll kill each other. So minor changes, little things that you gotta watch out for when you're doing it. And the reason why I haven't done this is I'll get to that later in the video. Let's continue. Caretaker. There's more enemies. Didn't really seem to be much else that was added to the encounter except those that are running for the symbols. There will be one of those bees that the caretaker shoots out that appears inside the room and will run after you, but pretty much if you're just moving fast enough, it will never catch you. Third is planets. This is the bane of every LFG's team's encounter. It is so annoying. People just don't know how to do it. But things that are changed, there's some fire tornadoes that go around the map, and you have a tormentor that spawns when you successfully move the planets. And for the first week was Atrax. Not really much was changed, except the servitors are a little bit chunkier. There's a little bit more enemies, and a tormentor spawns on the bottom floor, and all the servitors are dead on the bottom floor. And for week 2, they added Oryx. But again, the light level was increased for Oryx, and it is, not much was changed, except that the Light Eater Knights, they constantly spawn and go after those lights, so you have to watch out for them and make sure they don't eat those blights, so you can actually have a damage phase. And a tormentor spawns in during damage phase. He's not a big deal except pushing you around, so that's that. So is this mode good? I honestly think it's great. It's a good bit of challenge with the more engaging parts of raids and cuts out the jumping sections. The jumping sections are not bad, but this mode allows for the focus to be more on the execution of these encounters, because as the light level increases each week, there will be less options for people to make mistakes, and there'll be no downtime between them. So like you can keep going and going and going, not have to worry about running through the jump puzzle or doing anything like that, or waiting for LFGs to make it through jump puzzles. You just have to watch them fail miserably at an encounter over encounter. What should you expect as an LFG? Because a lot of people are LFGs, myself included. I try to LFG in most things so that I can kind of get a feel of what the average experience would be. People who might have friends, but not enough friends to do the raid encounter. So you're looking for an LFG. And I'm going to honestly say it is bad. Bungie didn't think about how this would work. For some reason, there's no checkpoints on the LFG system. You can't tell people, hey, this is a planet, this is an Atrax, this is Caretaker, or this is Golgoroth. That is part of the reason why I haven't done Golgoroth, is because I can't find nobody who's doing it. And when I put a post up there, nobody joins. So take it with a grain of salt. No options for checkpoints is crazy. And there's not even a thing that says fresh or anything. All the other raids have them. I don't know why it wasn't included in this mode. It is crazy. Now we get to the bane of my existence. The bane of most LFG's existence is planets. The place that everyone seems to get stuck at. I'd say 95% of the people I have joined doing Pantheon were stuck at planets. And it wasn't stuck at planet for maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or half an hour. No, I saw some people who were stuck there for 3 hours. They easily beat Caretaker and Golgoroth, but then they got the planets and they couldn't do it. Why couldn't they do it? I don't know. But this seems to be the most consistent checkpoint I could find. And I'm going to pose a question. Did Root of Nightmares ruin Destiny Raiders? I mean, kind of. That's why this meme of, I'll just do ad clear has gone around the community, is because a lot of people only ad cleared. They never executed these simple mechanics. And I kind of know this for a fact, because whenever I was doing, even when I was just doing this raid, Red Borders, I was always the one doing the raid mechanics. But so many of you make yourself look stupid calling this an easy raid, but most of you can't beat planets. Planets is super easy mechanically. There's not much you have to go around and do. I don't know how to describe it. It's just crazy how an encounter from one of the easiest raids that Bungie has put in is the biggest stopping point for people. Yes, there are a little bit harder enemies, and yes, there's a tormentor, and yes, there's a fire tornado, but it's not that hard. If you open your eyes and pay attention for more than 1/10 of a second, you could beat this encounter. And I've noticed consistently in Pantheon mode on this encounter, it's either only me or one other person that knows how to do this encounter. And the crazy thing is a majority of the people that are doing it already have the emblem for doing the whole thing. How do they not know how to do this? Are they just getting carried? Probably. But I will teach you how to do this so you can actually contribute to your teams. First off, there'll be 2 teams. Team 1, add clear. This consists of generally 2 people. It is your job to make sure everything in the center dies. The only thing you do is not shoot at the lieutenants or the colossuses that spawn on the plates. Those are for the people actually doing the mechanics. And for all those who only add clear, most are bad. I'd say 95% don't actually add clear, because they're either trying new builds or they're just like zoning out because they think that, add clear isn't really anything, I can just kind of skate by in this raid. But no, you should actually use a build that actually add clear so that those people doing the mechanics can actually do the mechanics. And also, use heavy ammo scouts, for the love of God, so that the people who are doing the mechanics are not really, I mean, they're shooting at enemies, but they're not like consistently clearing adds, that they actually have heavy ammo when damage phase ends. Is it that hard to implement that as part of your build? This is so you can support your team and be a better teammate, because I mean, the least you can do when all you have to do is add clear is spawn heavy for people. And then team 2, this is the mechanics. Just for all those add clear Andes out there, you have 4 plates. You have L1, L2, R1, R2. On each of these plates, there will be 3 planets, 1 through 6, with 2 and 5 always being against the wall. Now, if this is 2, what one is this? It's 3. Congratulations. If this one is 5, then what is this? 6. Congratulations. You might be offended that I talk to you like a baby, but these people like have the mental fortitude of toddlers. They don't understand, and then they'll constantly call something out wrong because somehow their orientation of the room changed, even though the orientation is always the same. I mean, look at this. Is it so easy to look at the room in this fashion? No. But starting at start of the encounter phase, an Incendior will spawn, as you can see on my lovely thing. I did not create this. This was created by Joe Gibbons, and I appreciate it, and I'm using this because people are dumb. But at the start of the damage phase, there will be 2 Incendiors that spawn. You want to kill these because they can boop you, they can light you on fire, and in the harder modes, they will kill you. Please, for the love of God, kill them. You have about like 10 to 15 seconds while you're waiting for the lieutenants to spawn. You can kill these guys. Once you're done killing them, you will look to the center. And when you look to the center, there will be a Centurion that spawns around this area. He will either still be up around here, or he will be dead. If he is alive, then help kill the Centurion, because he is what spawns the Colossus. And as you can see on this map, the Colossus spawns in these areas on all 4 plates. So this will be on the jobs of those who are on the plates to kill them. You will want to use shotguns or fusion rifles. Kill the Colossus. The Colossus would then give you a debuff, or a buff. They will, your planets will light up either light or dark. So it'll look like this. So let's say, oh, this planet's light, this planet's light. This might be wrong. I am forgetting which side is which, but it's so easy. A caveman could do it. And this one's dark. Which one do you think you should grab? Oh, the dark one. Now you're going to take this dark one and you're going to take it across. Now the other guy on the other side had to do the same thing. He had 2 lights, the guy on the other side had to do the same thing, but he would have had 2 darks and a light one. So he would have been bringing it to the other side. And you're going to bring your dark planet to his, where he took the light planet from, and he's going to put his light planet where your dark planet was. Right? Your goal is to listen to the person opposite you, right? And opposite is always this, right? It is the other mirrored side from you, and you're going to replace the planet that they grabbed, and they're going to replace the planet you grabbed. To grab a planet or place them, there must be an orb. It will be a little white orb or a outlined orb underneath the planet. This is where you will have to go and interact and deposit. When all this is done correctly, you will know, because a Tormentor will spawn right there in the center. And then the Centurions will respawn. So help kill them. Then your lieutenants will spawn again. You will have to kill them again. Now, once you've killed these lieutenants, these planets in the middle will either show a light or dark, right? You got left, middle, and right. Now, let's say if the left planet is dark. Well, whoever has a dark planet on one of these sides is going to take a left or a dark planet to the left side, right? Same thing if the other 2 were light. You're going to take the light planet to these plates. It is not that hard. You just have to matching colors, guys. Not that difficult to process. And if all this was done correctly, then damage will start. It will always be one of the planets that you have multiple of. So say you have 2 light in the middle, you will always start with a light. If you have 2 dark in the middle, then you will always start with a dark. And then from the dark, you would go to the light, or if you were on the light, then you would go to dark. Not that hard. Very easy to understand. And for the love of God, use something other than machine guns. I don't know how many groups I have joined where they're just using machine guns on this guy. This guy is a burst damage check. You are not going to have enough time to kill him with machine guns, it will take way too long. You will have to do probably 3 phases. And I will say, for the ones that I did join that were machine guns, you have to do 3 phases, and you barely get it at that. You want burst damage options like rockets with Gallowhorn or grenade launchers, and for the love of God, stop moving inside of well. You will not die in well. But if you strafe, you can make it a reality that you will die in well. Now, if you did not make it to final stand, then you will rinse and repeat this process. But if you did, then you will get on a plate and wait until damage starts, and then when damage starts, you unload everything you have into them, and there, now you know how to do the planets. Now go out and put it into practice, because if you think that you can only add clear while raiding, especially in the final shape, and especially in these harder modes of Pantheon, man, you're going to be sorely mistaken. It would behoove you to learn how even the simplest of raid mechanics work, so that you can freshen up your mind so that you're ready when these things come out, so you're not holding people back, especially for LFG, man. How embarrassing is it to get in there and not know what's going on? Like, yeah, your first time, maybe you might not know, but at least put forth the effort to understand what's going on, even if you put on the most mundane of activities of just killing enemies. So my conclusion is Pantheon is good, but LFG sucks. And it will get worse as the weeks continue, especially if there's no way to know what encounter people are on with LFG. But take my opinion with a grain of salt. Go and see for yourself. So much in Destiny is free at the moment. This is a good time to try anything. So I want to thank you guys, and I will see you later.